a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll second.
Got a motion from Scott, and a second from Bob to accept the minutes from the previous meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda are the claims and financial reports, and did you give them anything new, Bart, after?
Yeah,
what
everybody
you-
got a new one.
Everybody got a new one? Did I?
Yeah.
Any questions from department heads? Okay with it?
Anybody got any questions?
The Scott
So-
oil bills I pulled out.
You pulled this,
Okay, because I got charged for other departments on NVH.
so,
Art's gonna go through them and fix them.
okay,
Okay, so
All them ones going to Scott Oil Honey that are NVH, those are not on mine.
okay. I was going through it, all the funds are looking good at this time of the year. He's looking at, but the only thing I have questions for is the cemetery has some negatives. Of course, we all know that we started off where it's very hard to do a budget for storms. I mean, you can throw a little bit, but you know, we're running a tight budget. And so we could throw a little bit towards the storm, but that exceeds because we have several storms. And in the cemetery, when it comes to cleanup, well, it's put us over. So we'll have to look at that and maybe moving to make it covered. The thing I did have a question for was, I noticed we got, when we get our revenue from the county, I noticed NVH was there and general was deposited in there. But I did not see the cemetery deposit. When you look on revenue report for year to date, nothing's been put in under general cemetery property taxes, zero revenue year to date. I was just wondering if maybe that was overlooked,
On
because there is a
page-
section for the
On
cemeteries.
page 3,
And I'm looking on page 2, under, I'm looking at your revenue report,
uh-huh,
and be the second page,
right.
under Fund 2204, Cemetery General Property Taxes.
Look at page 3.
Okay, I'm going down to 3, which is your foundations, other charges, cemetery lots.
Oh, I'm in revenues, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So there's nothing underneath where it says your property taxes that we get back from the county that actually goes to the cemetery itself.
All right,
So-
oh, that's the CVET. Yes, CVET appears in general funds and it will be moved. We're already aware of that.
Okay, so
How
the
much is
cemetery,
that, Bart?
I do not know the amount of that, but the other thing to bring to your attention is cemetery sale lots.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
She's done a hell of a job this year, but that's a mistake. So 20,000 of that is getting moved to sewer department to pay for a vehicle. So that 20,000 should be 73 alone.
20-some thousand.
how much have you taken in?
It's on my year-to-date monthly report.
Oh, yes,
Should be about 7,000.
No,
No?
no, I think I'm more than that.
it's right here in the stack.
It's got the year-to-date total on my monthly report.
Well, we just moved 20 out of that to pay for that truck.
Who's truck?
The standard.
Sander.
Oh, we moved it out of cemetery because I got that money donated.
What money? The 20,000?
Yes. I
That
got
was
that
the
from Mrs.
donation
White.
from White.
Yeah, we did.
You were supposed to put that 20,000 into Brandon's sewer account, and you're taking the 22,000 out of his account tonight.
Right.
I had a check from Mrs. White, a donation for $20,000.
Where was the
Yeah.
check from for the trucks?
Came from the Wabash Valley Community Foundation.
Okay, that's the 20,000 I'm talking about. The white
That's
check,
Standard.
the
Well,
check,
that was through White, was
Yes.
from the Wabash Valley Community Foundation.
oh,
It's from Mrs. White, for me and Brandon.
To pay
then
for
you
those.
also got another 20,000 for cemeteries?
Yes, well, her year-to-date is 24,926.
That's why you've taken it.
Yes.
Well, that's right, Because her year-to-date on my sheet is 44,000, and I just said I have an extra 20,000 in there.
I still haven't got county money though.
Oh,
Right, CVET's missing, I know that.
okay, so we're aware of that. So the cemetery may be in pretty good shape because she's still got to pay Stutler's mowing.
I still owe settlers quite a bit of money. Huh?
So that's why I just want to make sure we're watching that very carefully.
Is there more coming? I think they're up to date. I think they're up to date, I mean,
They are up to date on payments, but
Okay.
I still owe them.
okay.
There's still got to be more. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention, make sure the superintendent is communicating with clerk treasurer so we can get that worked out. We still have time, remember, council can do additional, whatever we have to do, but I just wanted to bring that to the attention to make sure everybody's aware before I approve any claims out of the cemetery.
Yeah, I do know CVET and tire tax are in the wrong place,
Okay.
and they will be moved.
And if you can check where the cemetery is.
Also, I noticed on the revenue report, the $1,500 from the county for the rental of the ambulance. Historically, that has come in on around the 1st to the 8th of the month. The revenue report I have dated 9/11 did not reflect that $1,500 coming in for the fire maintenance from the county. That should have been
I
reported.
doubt there's any revenues entered this month. to be
As
honest with you.
incoming revenue, 1,500 from the county.
I doubt any's been entered this month.
Pardon?
I doubt any county money's been entered this month.
You didn't get it?
No, hasn't entered it.
I haven't entered it yet.
It's not saying it's not there, it's just not showing up on a
Usually they pay anywhere between the 1st and the 8th of the month. That's why I was wondering.
It's on the bank statement, that I got a copy of that disappeared from my packet.
Yeah, so it could be possible to get put on there because it was he printed this at 9/11. So that could be a possibility, just,
Oh,
he's
that's
got
right.
it, but just hadn't caught the revenue report on 9/11 because 9/8 would be awful close. I'd be questioning
We'll see
if it
that
was 9.
7,500 jumps up next month then.
Yes, yes. And he'll look out for it, as long as he's aware. So if the department heads are good, I'll make a motion to accept the claims.
We need to
He's
do
gotta
it pending,
fix- he's gotta
Pending
fix the
Scott
Scott
Oils.
bill.
Yes.
okay, pending the Scott Oil correction, I'll second.
All right, have a motion by Mr. Alexander, a second by Mr. Miller to accept the claims pending the correction out of Cindy's account to Scott Oil. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Guys have it. Now, we're gonna play with this agenda royally. 4A, which is under old business, but it has to do with Riverfront Park.
Mhm.
And 4C, which has to do with Riverfront Park, about the floating pier. And number 6, Mr. Yoakum is here and wants to talk about cleaning up the riverfront. So we're gonna let him talk, cause he has another obligation, keep it brief, and then we'll talk about the park and the pier. So go ahead, Mr. Yoakum.
Okay, real quick, as he requested. The area between the fountain and the existing bridge, 163 bridge, years ago in 1965, we had pictures, I've circulated them to some of you, have seen it. There's a 3-tier there. There was actually a concrete block, old brick broken brick of concrete up that they lined 3 levels of that riverside between the fountain and the bridge. So we went down there the other day when we was cleaning up that riverside, went on down and we found the old stairwell that still goes up. It comes right around the turn. When you turn around into Dairy Queen, right by the drive-in where you make that corner, right over the hill is that nice big 6-foot wide steps going down the river. But we've seen a picture of what it used to be in 1965. And I have some people, local people that have been helping some of the guys on the boat race, boat club, and different people that volunteering. And we'd like to go back and cut all that off for free. We'll donate the time. I got volunteers to do it. Clear it all off, and Andy Thompson's got a little stumper in there. He'll take the stumps out. We can't pull it out because take a hole in there and try to pull it out, all them walls would come out. But we'd like to just take it back and restore it back the way it was. And, you can actually mow it and then get to a lot of the, one of the things that we'd like to have would be down there. If you drive down to Water Street or down along the park and down by the Dairy Queen, if you could drive down through and actually look over and see the river, it would just make all the difference in the world. And it's just a lot of cutting of the lower limbs, getting that back. But all that stuff's still there. There's still 2 grape arbors underneath there that were still in there. We found them back in there. But that was a beautiful place in 1965. And it's just a community thing we'd want to do. We found it and we thought, well, what if we clean this up and make this nice? One thing we'd ask, we would cut all up the brush and stack the brush in whatever size you guys want. You load it out and we'd put it all there. We'd clean it all up, do it for nothing. Just got some volunteers who want to do something. I think it's a very, you wouldn't believe how it look after it's done. Seeing the old pictures, and I just wanted to make that offer.
Yeah, and
That wall goes clear down to the back of the chateau. And there's at least one other set of steps, I think, right at the rear of the chateau that goes down to the river.
I think I remember seeing pictures from the old festival days
Yeah.
where they.
yeah, that's what he.
That's what I
they
wanted
covered.
Yeah, I remember seeing
I
pictures
would
of that.
make this one observation.
It's Dairy Queen, isn't
We have to ask the Dairy Queen if they're okay with it, because they own down to the bottom terrace.
Going down to where?
The bottom terrace. Where you got it, where you went ahead and shoved.
Yeah.
They own from there all the way back to the bridge up to the fountain. So we're gonna have to get their blessing, which they've been cooperating royally with the
Tearing up
So-
their parking
tearing
lot.
up their parking lots.
I mean, I can contact them and let you know when I find out, or
Heck, I'll contact them.
okay, great.
And just tell them that's a project, and we've got the boat club interested and wanting to do things down there, and I think if we kind of work together and start promoting this river a little bit more, we'd get a few people saying, well, hey, there is stuff to do here in Clinton.
Yeah, I concur with 100%. I've seen before they start, I was down there and, because you and Doc have been down there, and then I went down there and seen Mr. Yoakum and his crew down there, and I was Mr. Kite, wasn't it?
Yeah, like,
Oh, the time they found the stairs and they had some more people volunteering to come down there, and next thing you know, these stairs are cleaned out. It was, everything was going through my mind, just exactly you said, Mayor, is it does give more opportunities for people to do if things go right with a few more subjects that we got to talk about down there. But I think we're heading in the right direction. Thank God for the boat club. It's boat club makes a decision. They get volunteers. It's not costing us. I think we need to go with it.
Okay, and then to put the icing on the cake, sort of, but not quite, because he didn't have a quorum. Councilwoman Lindsay and I attended the Parks Board meeting last night, and the 2 members that did show up, we showed them the plans for the boat dock. We told them, what the object is about wanting to promote the riverfront park. And the 2 ladies that were here, they are in favor of it, and so we're gonna approach the whole park board. And let's do something with that river for them as opposed to just feeding the geese.
Sounds good.
you want to hear the update on that too, real quick, or I'll walk out when you get?
Update on what?
On the boat ramp. We had a meeting today with the grant writer. That's gonna go live, it goes live, I think, on the 26th of September, and it'll be out for everybody to contribute to. We have to actually have a place where people go and get $5, $10. That will go on to the end of October, and then it should be done, finished by then. The funding should be there. It's probably $63,000 for that. We met with them last week again, and we assessed the boat club. The angle was too steep at Montezuma, and so we got that adjusted. So the angle is a lot better, when you walk down it. But it's about a $63,000 project. we should have it funded. It's not cost city anything, zero,
And that's what we like to hear.
zero.
Yeah, like I said, get people
And
fishing.
Get people down there using it,
Yeah.
utilizing it.
Hey, Mayor, can I say something?
You sure can.
I want to give you a shout out and Ms. Lindsay a shout out. We've been trying to get that halfway like it is now and what he's proposing, 10 to 15 years, all right? Dot and yourself came down there when we were looking at stuff, you guys came down and both of you said everything we've been saying for 10 years with no goading on our part. We didn't, everything we've been saying, both of you said this would be so wonderful, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. And look what happened. It's cleaned off down there and more going forward. Hopefully get our new docks down there. We got plenty of volunteers that police trash and just keeping the place nice. But it was, you don't understand when a bunch of us guys have been there for how long. And you two walked down and you said everything we've been saying for the last 10 years. So, I mean, I appreciate you being on board with it. And you asked me about being on the park board, it'd be more than welcome. I'll do that. Yeah, she's got ideas. She needs a committee and something to write on. But I really appreciate you guys coming down and you saw our vision. And we had no way to advance it or push it or do anything else till you all got involved, and we really appreciate it. We're trying to make it nice down there. You can see the river from everywhere down there.
Yeah, I know, it looks a lot better when you drive down there, and there are a lot of people go down there and eat lunch.
We appreciate your help, honestly.
Have they gave you a timeline on the ramp, when they're gonna do the ramp?
When the grants are approved,
Not the dock, but the ramp itself,
Oh,
the boat ramp.
what do you want to do with it?
I thought they were gonna redo the old ramp.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. We wanted the suicide ramp tore out.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Well, that'll take care of the problems with that'll take care of the problems with the south ramp.
Okay.
That's causing the problems. DNR's broke. They told us, the state's broke. So they're not gonna do anything with that.
Okay.
The main thing, what we got from DNR with the boat club is if we keep it maintained as it is now, they will continue to keep pushing it out.
All right. Gotcha.
But the new guy said he's not gonna send any equipment down there to do anything. It's up to us. So as Pepper Act, myself, boat club, and everybody else is trying to keep it manageable to where we stay on board with DNR and they keep doing their thing. But no, they're not taking anything out. They're not redoing anything. The only project going on is putting the new docks in.
Okay.
And that's, like I say, all grant money, and once that's approved, I think they said 24-day turnaround, once everything's approved. Within a month, they can be in, they wanna put them in this year, at least, even if it's only 2 months.
Right.
So, we're talking about all this, that way people can see, okay, we've been talking about it, here's where the money went, there it is.
Right.
And those come out every year.
Right.
So we're just gonna try to make a showing and say, here's where your money and your support went. And instead of the boat club taking the docks in and out, which we will with these, they're gonna show us how to take them out. They're on wheels.
Yeah.
We can pull them out, but instead of us rebuilding all of ours and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And if you'd like to go down there, we can show you where they're gonna be. They're all there marked off the flags where the shelter is now in the trees.
Yeah.
From there to the ramp 50 feet is gonna be the docks.
Okay.
Good.
And that, right now, the river's 2.5 foot, and where the docks are gonna sit is about 6 foot of water, so they're not gonna get on the bottom.
Right.
And they will show us how to take them out, store them, all that kind of stuff. And if we wanna take it amongst ourselves to do it, if we think we can do it, we can. Otherwise, $1,000 a year, they will put them in and take them out. Both times. And the boat club's already working for a place to store them. McGee's already said he's got some pontoon trailers, so we can actually take them out, break them into sections, put them on a trailer and store them somewhere so that one, they're out of the weather, and two, they're away from vandalism.
Okay, very good.
Sounds good. Good deal.
I've been working hard on this, man.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, so that takes care of Riverfront Park, the proposed new floating pier. Little Italy Festival's over and done. I want to thank the street department especially and our safety guys because they work hard behind the scenes. The community crossings paving, they started working on sidewalks this week, and the way I understand it, they had pushed the paving back a whole month, but now it's gonna happen a little sooner. There are some trees that they hadn't anticipated having to remove, but they're gonna remove them and juggle stuff around so we stay within our allocated.
Good. We're not gonna be worried about the coverage of the
Yeah.
trees.
So we are making progress there. Under new business, I know Eric has a update, but I had told Joink that they could be here. Told them to keep it brief because we're pushing a 7 o'clock deadline. Do we get in trouble if we don't meet at 7 for the
Not if we
public?
don't tell anybody.
Okay, so
But we're on, we're
somebody
live.
take that clock and hide it somewhere.
Just turn it back. Just turn it back about 10 minutes.
And anyway, so we have 3 people, I believe, from Joink, and you can give us a report. I know one of them wants to sell you guys internet. The other 2 are gonna give us progress reports as far as what's been going on.
Hi guys, my name's Amy Newberry. I'm the Director of Sales from Joink in Terre Haute. I wanted to stop by today to let you know that we're doing really well in Clinton as far as how far we've come. So we have turned on a lot of light. There's a lot of homes that it's ready to go. If you've not signed up, you're interested in signing up, you can call us at our office. You can talk to my sales team, I'd be happy to get you on board. We still have installations available this month. We can get that done for you. You can go to our website. There's an online order form. Fill out your information. One of the sales team members will reach out to you directly to set that installation up for you. I also wanted to let you know that we're not finished yet. Austin's going to give an update as far as construction goes here in a moment. But if you live in an MDU, a mobile home community, assisted living, anywhere where we did not build through this first pass, call us. If you're a property owner, a resident, a property manager, we may be able to get fiber to your building, to your area, to your mobile home community. Generally we can. Usually there's no additional cost involved. It's that we build the city first, and then we'll go back to those little areas that take a little bit more work to build those out. They need a little bit more design and planning involved. So before I turn it over to Austin, does anybody have any questions for me for sales?
You said mobile homes, but apartments, buildings?
So they take a little extra planning.
Okay.
We just need the property owners to give us permission. We can do a walkthrough. We can do the design work. If everybody agrees, we'll set something up.
And your flyer is on our bulletin board out there.
Yes, and I brought a bag of goodies if anybody needs anything.
We like to hear that.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, awesome.
I'm Austin Souter, outside plant manager, so I'm over the crews that's been here working in town, the installers that'll be hooking up your houses, and the ISP people that actually be inside your home. Construction finished up this week. They still have some handholds to put in the ground and some restorations to do, so they'll still be here within the next probably 8 days, finishing those things up. And then we also see the crews, they're joint crews installing the homes. We have a contractor named Precision that helps us with some of those installs, but everyone that'll be inside your home is joint employees. We had some issues with some damage and stuff, but we're coming back here, fixing those up and addressing all those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I mean, they stole all my thunder, right?
There you go. That's what happens when you
No,
wait
I'm
to
just glad to
last.
be here. My name is Joe Powell, the Chief Operating Officer for Joink. And I want to come along with the team here and just make myself available. So if you have a question or need anything, certainly don't hesitate to reach out to me for sure. So thank you for letting us come.
Thank
The only question I have for Amy,
Yes,
how many has already been installed in Clinton? Do you know?
that's a very good question.
It's a big number.
It's a big number. I can get you that number if you'd like.
I was just,
It's a big number, and it keeps going up. So we have a
Yes.
lot of pending orders right now. We also have a lot of people that have called in for what we call Clinton Phase 3, that we just finished putting conduit in today, I believe that was finished. So there's a whole bunch of orders from that area that are getting ready to get scheduled for install. If you'd like, I could come back to the next meeting next month and give you a bit of a recap, let you know where we're at.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's been some damages, but with my observation with all the installs, and sometimes it is painful. I do feel for the customer, but things do happen. Things get repaired. Our crews are on it, Cindy, and the sewer department has been on it. So I just that number kind of shows you and balances up.
Clinton has been very welcoming to
Yes.
joint buried fiber. Not every city and town has buried fiber. Many places have aerial internet, which is a completely different type of internet service. So what we've done in Clinton is something that will last a very long time. And so we thank you for letting us come in, put our services here. We hope to do right by you. If you want to talk about what we can do for you down by the river, come talk to us. We'd be happy to see if we can do some sort of a partnership for that public space as well.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will put you on next month's agenda then.
Yeah, please do put me down. I'm gonna leave my goodie bag up front. If anybody wants to rummage through it, take any goodies with you.
You ought to go grab it, cause they'll steal you.
Maybe our packet's in there.
Okay, so the next item, well, we got department reports from everybody except Scott didn't, because somebody stole his packet. And I misplaced mine, but anyway,
I make a motion that we receive.
I have read it.
That I have received the department head reports, and I'll be gladly to give those over to Scott to read.
Had a whole afternoon planned of exciting reading, and
I could print you off new ones and have them tomorrow.
All right, that's fine. Okay, I know our department has to do a good job.
So you're gonna second his motion?
I'll second, yes.
Yes, acknowledge you received.
Yeah.
Got a motion and a second to acknowledge receipt of the department head report. Any discussion?
Who is first, please?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, and now, last but definitely not least, Mr. Eric Smith with some CSO project updates.
I will be brief. I think most of what I have is good news. There's a letter for that. We had a progress meeting last week on the CSO project. Good news is, as of the end of last week, all sewer work that is being completed in public rights of ways is now complete. So we are working on the parking lot at the Hamilton Center and regrading the areas around Dairy Queen and Main Street. And Main Street should be paved in the next week or week and a half. So St. Cruz is coming in to do community crossings and they'll be paving it for the contractor. So that should happen then. And they're also doing some curb and gutter work down there as well. So once that is all done, and once they restore Dairy Queen's parking lot and the pavement on Elm Street, all work, the rest of the project will be contained at the plant. The other item I have, other than we did submit a pay request from the contractor, and it's recommended to be approved to submit to the agencies. Looking back a few months, if you recall, during May, we had some issues with the boring at 163.
Yes.
We encountered soil that was not granular, and it was caving in on the boring hole. So the contractors came back and suggested that it needed to be a mined operation where they actually back out the material so the casing can be pushed through, much more labor intensive. At that time, the Board of Works signed a work change directive that was not to exceed $205,000. They did get the boring done. We noted that it would be followed up with a change order later. They documented all the labor and equipment. Our inspector reviewed it. We actually denied sometimes because it was above and beyond when they were actually there. So we actually went back and forth on the documentation, and the final amount that we're recommending is $155,000. So we did save $50,000 there from what it
was projected to be by the contractor. So there is contingency money to pay for that change order. So I would recommend that it be approved, and then we'll submit the SRF funding agency has to approve it.
Is that, on the, pay app, or is that just?
It's not. They can't put it on the pay app until the change order is approved for the
Okay.
state.
I'll make a motion that we, approve the change order number 1, for the boring.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mr. Alexander and a second by Mr. Miller to approve the change order on the boring. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Any comments from the public? Any comments from Mr. Miller or Mr. Alexander? I apologize, Scott. I did make you a.
That's all right, I believe it, yeah. So, I don't know what somebody wants, but. No, I don't have anything.
One question I have is the pay app number 5 that we created.
We do need to do that.
I'll make a motion on that.
You wanna make, you have to add that to the agenda, or is it
Oh,
on?
it's on there,
Okay.
I thought.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, I'll make it,
So project updates and pay report.
gotcha,
This is a pay request.
right, so you made a motion?
I'm making a motion to approve pay application number 5 from Graves Construction Services. Total value of the pay application is $904,697.75.
I'll second
got a motion and a second to accept the pay application request from Graves Plumbing, which I believe this comes out of something that Chris Gerald handles.
We're done with Oprah, I think, at this point. We've spent our Oprah money, so this is be straight SRF money. at this
Okay,
point.
so, all right, this comes out of SRS. Right.
Whether it's
All right.
grant or.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. Now, do you guys have any comments?
No.
Does the public have any comments? Briefly, I will tell you that Mr. Properoni and Chief of Police and I listened to a sales pitch from Enterprise Fleet Leasing about new police vehicles, actually about our entire fleet. We got his documentation back right before 5 o'clock. Anyway, we're gonna talk about it during council meeting. Don't know what we're gonna do yet, because we're not sure on the money situation, but that is an option we're gonna consider.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. I had some other stuff.
Well, you had that one right here that you passed out to us.
Yeah, that's change orders.
That's a change.
Change order, which we already approved.
Yeah.
He just handed
Yeah,
us
that's
the
just so
form.
you guys get a copy.
So that goes on top.
But Eric didn't know I was printing you copies.
Okay.
Now you've got 2. Okay, for nothing else, nothing left, what's that?
Crown Hill service contract, you were just gonna brief us on that. It
Oh,
did get
no.
signed?
Okay, yeah, I will do that. We met with Crown Hill, Mr. Alexander was here. And long story short, we submitted a proposal for them to look at and see what they wanted to do. And the proposal included, putting a monitor on their thing that would flash into our computer in the plant. It included doing our weekly checks and twice a month cleanouts. And actually basically taking it over for a set fee. They finally got back with us today, and they would like for Brandon and I to meet with them, and they're gonna tell us what they can afford. They did say they were all in favor of the monitoring station, so that at least he'll be able to see when something's going wrong way before it starts overflowing. So anyway, one day next week, they wanna meet and tell us what they can afford to do, and we'll tell them how much we'll do it for.
Okay, I think the back truck's the most important. It's no deal if they don't do the back truck.
Well, the thing with that is they just want us to pretty much maintain. They don't want us to do any of the big fixes. They want to be able to find their own people to do their major fixes.
Yeah,
They just want us to
that's fine.
check it and then clean it and monitor
Yeah,
it.
that's fine. As long as we're getting reimbursed for the
Yep.
back truck, because we made some several trips out there and we haven't
Yep.
really said anything.
Well, that thing's very expensive.
Yeah. I'm all about working together, fair share. Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Motion made, second, meeting adjourned, and in 3 minutes, we'll start the public hearing. Okay, order in the court. Have you passed that clipboard all around? Has everybody here signed this attendance sheet? I'm now going to declare the public hearing as advertised on the notice to taxpayers for 2026 budget purposes is now open. Mr. Craig, would you like to explain?
Well,
this pretty
I'd say ignore the numbers in front of you. What we advertise is very similar to what we advertised last year, which is very high. We advertise high because the state does not allow you to increase anything beyond what you have advertised. You will notice, for example, that the maximum levy for the city in 2026 is going to be 1.3 million and change. I've advertised a levy of 2.2 million. We will not get that much. We will not be able to even ask for that much. But we advertise high with the intent of being able to maintain maximum flexibility as far as moving things around. Those numbers are roughly 50% to 75% higher than what I expect the actual budget will be. I do the same thing for the county, for what it's worth. Like Wendy has a $2 million health budget, which she probably thinks looks great. But we advertise high so that we can move things around as need be. The budget for next year, I can give you a little bit of a preview. Our revenues are going to be down next year. For the first time since I remember, we're not going to get as much in lit or projected. Well, we are not going to get as much in lit next year as we are getting this year. That has gone up every year, usually 10% or so. It is projected to go down about 3% next year for the first time ever. I don't know why. Somebody really rich must have died. So our property tax circuit breaker impact is also going up again, of course. So, and those are our two biggest sources of revenue, property tax and lit. And they're both going to be down. Therefore, it's going to be, as always, a challenge because our revenues are going to be decreasing from our major revenue sources. So the biggest change probably, though, in the ultimate budget that you're going to see for 2026, I don't believe we're going to be able to do any community crossings paving next year. We've done quite a bit. We're doing quite a bit this year. Community crossings is a great program. It matches $3 for every dollar we put in. We could do a very small project next year, but our experience has been that it's better to kind of build that money up over a couple of years and then try and do more paving every other year than to do a little bit of paving every year, because you have a lot of cost involved in doing the bidding, the contractor coming into town, mobilizing and all that. It's more efficient to do that every other year, or 2 out of every 3 years. Sometimes we've been able to do that. We'll know more once we see some final numbers for where the city sits as of June 30. So and we've talked about this. I know most of you know about this. The biggest concern that we should have long term is this is the beginning of what's going to be a multi-year process of being strangled slowly. Every year, our assessed value increased dramatically this year. We saw a 20%, almost 25% increase in our assessed value, which is fantastic. That's great. As that assessed value goes up, our tax rates go down, and we lose less money to the circuit breaker because we have more people paying in. However, starting next year, we're all going to start getting new tax credits as homestead owners, or even commercial properties are going to start getting some credits. So as a taxpayer, that's going to be good. You're going to see, your bill would be $1,200, but you got a credit for $300, so you only pay $900. That's good for you. It's bad for the city and the county and school. But the other change that's happening, property tax-wise, is the exemptions are starting to go up. So if you have a homestead property right now, you get a standard homestead exemption and you get a supplemental homestead exemption. Depending on some variables, that's usually around 40% of your assessed value. So if your assessed value of your property and your home is $1 million, you're only paying on 600,000 of that because it's 40% off the top that is exempt. That is going up to 2/3. Not all at once, but over
about 5 to 6 years. Right now, commercial properties don't get that exemption. They're going to start getting an exemption. So our rental properties, our apartments, our businesses, they have no exemptions. That is going to start gradually phasing up until it's 1/3 of their assessed value. So what we're going to see, I think we've probably peaked as far as assessed value goes for a while, and that's going to start to go back down as these exemptions start to roll on. As those exemptions start to hit and our assessed value starts to go down, our tax rates will start to go up and we'll hit more circuit breakers. Of course, the other big impact that we are going to be facing in 2 years is the totally revamping of the local income tax. That's our second biggest source of income. We get certified share money, we get public safety money, and we get edit money. That rate is set by the county council, always has been. It hasn't been changed since like 2019, but it's been a great source of revenue for us. It's helped us keep the police department, fire department funded. It's helping pay for the firehouse. It's helping keep our general fund afloat. 2028, that goes away. Now, the county has another menu to pick from, and they're going to have, right now they have a menu, and if they pick public safety, automatically we get a portion of that. If they pick certified share, we automatically get a portion of that. So if they pick it for themselves, we get a cut. That's going to change in 2028. They can pick a tax that is just for them, and they get all of it. Now, we can pick a tax that is just for us. We are big enough. We're the only community in the city, in the county, that has that option. But that tax would just be on Clinton City residents. Question is, well, first of all, there's two things. Well, first question is, if we did the maximum amount that we could tax, you could tax your citizens. I'm not one of them. Would that be equal to what we're getting now? I don't know the answer to that question. Second question is, it's going to stink for you if you're a city resident. If the county does a 1.2% tax, local income tax for the county, and the city does a 1.2% tax for the city, you're going to pay 2.4%. And I'm going to pay 1.2% out in the county. So there are very complicated things that are going to be happening. We don't have to deal with it yet, but we do need to be prepared to deal with them in a couple of years. Chuck's already suggested that we have a meeting scheduled for like 11 p.m. on the last day to do this in case the county, because there is an option. We could say we're not going to do our own tax. We're going to ask the county to do the county can do a new lit that will be split between the cities, us, the towns, Dana, Newport, Cayuga, etc. And the county can take a piece of that too if they want to. If we choose to just go that route with it and not have a tax for ourselves, that might be financially better for us, because it might be better for us to get 50% of the entire county, or 20% or whatever it would be of the entire county, as opposed to 100% of the people who live here. Because the people who live here tend to be more elderly, more young, more lower income. Median household income in the city is not as high as it is in other parts of the county. So I just got a quote today from Baker Tilly to do, the county council is concerned about these things as well. They are worried about how they're going to do things, what impact it's going to have. So Baker Tilly, just to do the lit analysis, proposed something like $7,500 to do the lit analysis for the county. I think it would be worth our while to ask them, while they're doing that, for an extra $2,500 or something, could you throw in an analysis of the city's options as well, and look at the city's local income tax options too? I've talked to the county council, or some members of the county council, about this. I think their preference would be that it just kind of stays the same. I think, just because it works right now the way it does. But I think they'd like to at least look, what would it look like if we just wanted to keep everybody the same? You're getting about the same as you're getting now. Dana's getting the same as it's getting now. The library's getting the same as it's getting now. You're getting the same as you're getting now. The county's getting the same as it's getting now. So, but I don't know. I mean, we're still 2 years away from that decision having to be made. There's politics involved. There's going to be pressure put on them to hey, this is a chance. Don't increase my taxes. I want my taxes to go down. And so they're going to have to decide between increasing taxes or, perhaps perhaps increasing taxes, perhaps keeping taxes the same, perhaps lowering them. And most people want their taxes lower, and that's what people are going to want. So that's a tough choice for them. It's kind of like the choice you guys have to make when you have to do sewer rates or something. You know, it's, well, you know, I don't want to raise people's bills, but we need to pay for what we have to pay for. So, anyway, that's far afield from the budget, but it's the budget stuff is going to be impacted by these changes as they start to happen. This is year one. This goes on until 2031, I think. So every year, it's going to get. I think it's going to get a little worse for us before it gets any better, unfortunately. So we hope to have those budget numbers to you by the first of the month. More detailed budgets with you in the first of the month. I know Bart's been working real hard on trying to get those some reports together for me, and we're very close to having those, but we're just not quite there yet. But it's not going to be. I mean, you know, you think you have. Oh, we're going to go through this budget. We're going to work this. The reality is, there's not a lot of once you start paying people and benefits. There's not a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of discretionary spending that's happening here beyond people and the benefits and the electric bill and the insurance and you know, it really isn't. Paving is probably not something in the cards this year. That's the biggest change, I think. But that's it. We do have enough money left in ARPA. We should have enough money left in ARPA to do employee bonuses as we have for the last several years. But this will be it. Next year will be probably the last year for those bonuses. And I have to do the math. We have to see how many people we have and how many years they've been here to see if we can do them at the same level, or we may need to drop that down, you know, $25 or something. Maybe we can increase it $25. Scott Karanovich left. He's been here a long time, so that saves us some money. So, we'll redistribute Scott's money to other people. But, yeah, that's the budget.
Any public comment? Any council comment?
Well, I was just looking at the allowance docket for the salaries. Take $128,444, which is salaries. And you look for what our possibility is, but this is not the whole year. This is within maybe a 2-week pay period time. That's what we really got to look at, what we're paying now, where we're going to be at.
That'll be another discussion for another meeting or another sub-meeting because.
I was just correct, right? I was just doing the math. I don't think we can lower what's on the allowance docket. It's not going to get better.
It's a gloomy forecast. We just have to figure out a way. If we have to buy a printing press and print our own, we will. Anybody got any other comments? Then I now declare the public hearing closed. Council meeting will start in 30 seconds, so don't start any conversation.
Come on.
Before that 30 seconds is up.
I'd like to call the city council meeting to order September 16, 2025 in city council chambers. Would you all please rise for the pledge to the flag? Each other up. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, could we have a roll call, please?
John Moore,
I'm here.
Wendy Farley,
Here.
Chuck Proferoni,
Here.
Dean Strom,
Here.
Dot Lindsay,
Here.
and Bob Alexander.
Here. Okay, so you all should have copies of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, March, April, May.
Okay.
That's what I don't believe.
Okay.
July.
Still close.
I found some minor cosmetic and typos, and I've already told them to Bart, so when the motion is to approve the minutes, it's with the understanding that those
Where were the
typos.
typos? Why didn't the rest of us?
One was, on page 3, the name was spelled correctly. There was, title 4, the title 6, I got cookies on it. Title 6, there was like a space, I can't remember, it needs a space, and I can't remember, I think that was just 2, Bart, check what I gave you, I think it was just 2, but real minor stuff. But content-wise, it was right on target based on the discussion. My name needs 2 R's. She's got it right in other areas.
Oh, okay.
It's minor,
Very
for the
good.
record,
Yeah,
but for the record. But
It's
content-
spelled right, it's D-O-T, Doc.
Yeah. 1 T, not 2. A lot of people put 2.
So are you making a motion to accept?
Yes, with the minor, addressing the minor corrections, yes.
I'll second that.
Got a motion from Mrs. Lindsay, seconded by Mr. Alexander to accept the minutes with the corrections she has already approved. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is the receipt of the financial reports, and I hope you all got them.
Yeah, I think. Did you get that? The senators of the financial?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure I gave them to you. Because I seen everybody sign, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion. We all received our financial reports.
I'll second.
A motion from Mr. Alexander, a second from Mrs. Farley. To accept the receipt, acknowledge receipt of the financial reports. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Let's see if I can't remember shit. Okay. Last meeting, Thrive was here and they asked for financial assistance for their bus route. They're not here tonight, but they did send me an email that I did send on to everybody else.
Thank you, buddy.
And of course, my thought at this point in time is, we gotta wait and see where we're at before we start. So, anyway, that's the way it stands. It's my understanding that the county has cut what they're gonna do, and it's just, I don't know. But I would say we will not make any type of decision on that at all until we know what we're gonna be able to afford for our citizens.
It was 65 total residents served, 4 youths, 20 adults, 41 seniors from age 60 and over. 32 of these riders were listed as disabled for purpose of transport, and their place they picked up was Valley Professionals, Aragon, Clinton Chateau, Walmart, Clinton Public Library, and I think most of them were Save-A-Lot, Walmart, Valley Pro, Clinton Hospital, and Dr. Wheat's office. So they were valid where they need to go to. But
Well, you know, Clinton does have a tax cap, which I've never ridden in it, don't know what his rates are, but that's a guy that tracks here.
Is he wheelchair handicap capable?
That's a good question, because
I
I've
think-
seen 3
no.
different vehicles
He's not.
on tax.
Definitely not.
It's a small four-door sedan.
You probably couldn't even get in his car, it's so small.
Yeah, it's a very small car.
It's fine.
That's good. He's got it for
Little
those
spark.
people who might venture out and have a little. Right on.
There you go. Okay, so everybody was here when we talked about Riverfront Park. And once again, I would reiterate, we're gonna work together and make it a place that we can start promoting and maybe have some things positive happen down there. Community crossings paving, the paving should start by next week. They've already started some sidewalk work and tree removal, and so far everything's looking good. We've been cautioned about a couple of things that they might have to move around a little bit to make us still stay within the allotted amount, but still be able to do what needs to be done. They're coordinating with Cindy on the street stuff, so if anything terrible happens, I'm sure she'll either leave the country or she'll call one.
We should visit the hospital.
Under new business, the first item on the agenda would be the reading of the 2026 proposed budget, which we just discussed in that very brief public hearing. But I suppose it does have to be read. So, which one of you would like to read it?
I'll read this one time only.
Okay.
Just once. Notice to taxpayers, complete details of the budget estimates by fund and or department may be seen by visiting the office of this unit of government at 259 Vine Street. Notice hereby given to the taxpayers of Clinton Civil City, Vermillion County, Indiana, that the proper officers of the Clinton Civil City will conduct a public hearing on the year 2026 budget. Following this meeting, any 10 or more taxpayers may object to a budget, tax rate, or tax levy by filing an objection petition with the proper officers of the Clinton Civil City, not more than 7 days after the hearing. The objection petition must identify the provisions of the budget, tax rate, or tax levy to which taxpayers object. If a petition is filed, Clinton Civil City shall adopt with the budget a finding concerning the objections in the petition and testimony presented. Following the aforementioned hearing, the proper officers of Clinton Civil City will meet to adopt the following budget. So that everybody's clarified on the notice. The public hearing was today at 7 p.m., which has just now concluded. Location, obviously, City Hall. The adoption meeting date will be October 21st, 2025, 7 o'clock p.m. here at City Hall, 259 Vine Street. Okay, our estimated civil max levy is $1,378,295. Our property tax cap credit estimate is $500,900. The following fund, General 101, budget estimate is $2 million. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals levies exempt from maximum levy limitation, is $1,500,000. Excessive levy appeals, 0. Current tax levy, $1,059,911. Our levy percent difference is 41.52%. 41.52%. Moving on to our debt service, 0180. Our budget estimate is $75,000. Our max estimated funds to be raised, including appeals levies and exempt from maximum levy limitations, is $75,000. Excessive levy appeals is 0. Our current tax levy is $30,438. Our levy percent difference is 146.40%, 0.40%. Fire pension budget, 0341. Budget estimate is 0. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, 0. Excessive levy appeals, 0. Current tax levy is 0. Police pension budget, 0342. Budget estimate is $75,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, is 0. Excess levy appeals is 0. Our current tax levy is $0. Moving on to local road and street, 0706. Budget estimate is $100,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, 0. Excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is 0. Moving on to the budget for motor vehicle highway, 0708. Budget estimate of $900,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, is $100,000. So our excessive levy appeals is 0. Our current tax levy is $39,981, with a levy percentage difference of 150.12%. Moving on to the budget for cumulative fire special, 1191. Our budget estimate is $40,000. Our maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from the maximum levy exemptions, is $40,000. Excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is $10,046, leaving with the levy percentage difference of 298.17%. High percentage. Moving on, the park budget, 1303. Our budget estimate for park, $150,000. Maximum funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from the maximum levy limitations, $150,000. Excessive levy appeals, 0. Current tax levy is $74,940. Our levy percentage difference is 100.16. And now moving to the cemetery budget, 2120. Budget estimate for the cemetery would be $350,000. Our maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, is $350,000. Max levy or excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is $124,967. And our levy percent is 180.07%. Moving on to capital improvement, cigarette tax in parentheses, it'll be 2379 is the number. Our budget estimate for that is $35,000. Your max estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt for the maximum levy limitations is 0. Excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is 0. And there's no percentage. Cumulative capital development, 2391. Budget estimate, $35,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including our appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations. That's going to be $35,000. And in your, or as you were, $0. Excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is 0. Moving on to, I might have repeated myself, cumulative capital development. That's where I'm at. Fund 2391. Budget estimate's $35,000. Your maximum estimated funds to be raised, including your appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, $20,000. The excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is $6,731. And your levy percent difference is 197.13%. Moving on for the budget for the public safety lift, Fund 9500. Our budget estimate for public safety is $700,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, is $0. Excessive levy appeals, $0. Current tax levy, $0. Moving on, American Rescue Plan, 9501. Budget estimate, $100,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, $0. Excessive levy appeals, 0. Current tax levy, 0. No percent. Opioid unrestricted, 9502. Budget estimate, $25,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, is 0. Excessive levy appeals, 0. Current tax levy is 0. No percent. Opioid restricted, 9503. Budget estimate, $25,000. Maximum estimate funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, 0. Excessive levy appeals, 0. Current tax levy, 0. No percent. Grand total for the budget estimate for the city of Clinton would be $4,610,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, is $2,235,000. Excessive levy appeals is 0. Current tax levy is $1,347,014. That's the budget.
Okay, somebody wake everybody up.
Yeah, that's a long week. Been doing it again.
Okay, so you've heard the budget, and I would assume that once our clerk treasurer finishes straightening up the mess he inherited, we can actually start figuring what we're gonna be able to spend next year and what we're gonna have to put off till hell freezes over. Okay, thank you, Bob. I appreciate you reading that. My voice was good now. No, I lost my agenda. They're not going well. Okay. On the combined sewer overflow, which it didn't get talked about in the Board of Works meeting, but they did uncover 3 tanks. 2 of them had oil in them, 1 of them didn't. 1 of them, there was a spill. They did get cleaned up and everything's been disposed of properly. The nobody's in trouble over it because the EPA or OEM has signed off on that and said that they were free and clear to do. But we will have to pay, they will have, somebody's got to pay for the cleanup and the disposal of the tags. And I don't know if they'll try to dang us for that or if we can, I don't know how that's gonna work yet.
Is there money in the contingency in the project to cover
Yes.
that?
Well, there is
There is some to cover.
But we don't know the price of the cleanup.
And that's the bingo part of it. We don't know for sure what it's gonna be.
This was on easement property,
Yes.
and IDEM said it was clear.
IDEM said it was clear when the easement property was purchased by the guy that owns it now from the former owner. When the former owner got ready to sell it, there was a tank that was removed, and IDEM said, everything's good.
That's a sticky situation.
Very sticky. And the thing was, there had been originally, there was thought of going down the alley instead of going over to Dairy Queen, but the utilities all would have
Right.
moved, and we know how fast they move utilities, so. It was decided to go through the Dairy Queen, everything was not going well, and then that happened and made it worse, but. It is, things are looking better out down there today, they've got the majority, of course, they got a big deep to replace, but the majority of the holes filled in. And it shouldn't be much longer, and Dairy Queen will be.
So this is where the old filling station was at?
There was an old filling station there, and Mike Kelly swears that they used to the interurban cars, that's where they service them. Which I don't think he's that old, but he might know. I'm not gonna argue with him. Anyway, that's that. Now, today, Mr. Procorotti and the chief of police and I met with a representative from Fleet Leasing, Enterprise Fleet. And I gave you guys, I just passed out his latest thing. Everybody got one, didn't they? Long and the short of it, police department needs 4 cars. Preliminary indications of what this guy says he can do for us. It looks like leasing having 4 new vehicles would cost us approximately $4,145 a month after we made the down payment the first. There are a couple of questions that I have. We had to, in order to participate, you gotta have at least 20 vehicles, so we had to include some of the city vehicles. And in order to make it work, we've got 2 brand new heavy duty trucks that we put on the list, but we already own them out free and clear, right? I understand. So I'm wanting to make sure that we still own them free and clear, that, you know, we're not, if we include them on the list, are we signing away any future rights? That is my biggest concern.
He also said about those big trucks, the dump beds are worth more than the chassis are, so the value of the vehicle kind of drops off pretty quick. So he was looking at equity, that we have an aging fleet, it's an old fleet with a lot of miles. And we picked and chose and kind of actually took a newer vehicle, a 2019 Ford that we're using for code enforcement with 22,000 miles, and it was our best value of trade-in and moving one of the old police trucks down to the code enforcement to kind of give us enough negotiation room to come up with another vehicle. And, you know, the stuff we got, really, the old Chargers aren't worth anything, $3,000. The miles on them, and they're just old. They're 2010s, 2012s. They're just old. So we are going to look at one more avenue on leasing. We've still got one more that we've got to talk to. but, we can order them. It's gonna take, what did he say, 16 weeks?
If we order them this time frame, this month, next month, we're looking February time frame to getting them in. That should be from the factory and getting them upfitted. So this price does also include all the emergency lights and everything, so once they come in, they'll be road ready, decals and everything. So this is road ready pricing.
So what does one of the vehicles cost, like, per? I'm just curious.
Like, you want the price of
Like, what does one cost?
a 26 Dodge Durango four-wheel drive Pursuit. You're looking at almost a $50,000 vehicle.
Plus-
49,672.
Plus additional 11,000.
For all the lights and the
Might take
other.
So, we're getting rid of these 7
Mhm.
and getting those 4.
Getting 5.
You need 4. Yeah. And then this is what it's gonna cost us up front.
What's our newest vehicle?
That's the total. 1 year.
For 1 year.
Hey, Dean.
28,820.
So on that, we actually added another vehicle, so we're getting rid of 7 vehicles and getting 5 vehicles back.
For 28,000?
Yes.
And where's that money coming from?
Well, that's the $500.
That's a $500 question.
Yeah,
Some of that,
I'll make it a $501 question.
yeah. Some of that, we looked at the maintenance that we were spending in the vehicles that we've been over the last. He's got great maintenance records, so we wouldn't have to put any maintenance. The only thing we're required to pay for maintenance is tires and brakes, if I remember right.
Tires, brakes, and like oil changes that is still.
Yeah. So we're gonna save some money there, but we're looking at options. And the thing is, once we get fleet that we've got equity in, he can keep rotating them out.
What would be the other vehicle you'd be, of these 7?
Do I?
You, did I understand you to say you was gonna turn in 8 vehicles now?
No, turn in 7 vehicles and getting 5 vehicles.
But then that 28,000 figure would jump.
No,
No?
that's figured in.
This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the 77. The estimated value from our vehicles we're getting rid of. And that's what we would owe.
Let's just make this
But I've got a revised one. That's the
them
original one.
keeping
but it-
track of our maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
Or when, if we have any issues, or if they see that the vehicles are starting to cost quite a bit to maintain, they will start coming back talking to us to start trading that vehicle in for a newer vehicle. So they're gonna be monitoring us also, because when we do our maintenance, we take it to, let's say, Elite, like we do a lot. They will get on the computer, they will enter what they did to that car. That will come to us and to the enterprise people, and they'll be able to watch. So if they see that we get an influx with, let's say, car 5, that, I'm just randomly throwing a number out there, that car is starting to become a problem with the front end issues, or it's causing issues, they will come back to us and say, okay, this car is getting problems, this car is getting problems, let's trade these out for 2 new vehicles. So they're watching it as long as also as we are watching it.
So at certain mileage, you'd turn them in?
They didn't say anything about mileage, but I know when I was at the county
That's the revised
listening to
one.
their presentation, they were talking, once it hits 100,000 miles is when they would want to start looking at trading it back in, because that's when you really start depreciating the value of that car.
Well, the thing is, I know you say you need 4 cars. We get 4 cars now, somewhere down the line, won't be my fault, my problem, but somewhere down the line, you're gonna be having 5 cars gonna need replaced about the same time.
It's not staggered.
Well, but that's the thing, if
I-
we go with the leasing program, it would become staggered, because every year, there would be one come up
Oh,
in
right.
rotation.
Of the older stuff, yeah.
Right.
And,
So-
and the thing is, I drive a 2019 F-150. My truck only got 45,000 miles, 46,000 miles on it. I've got a 2019 Dodge Durango that's got almost 90,000 miles on it. Because I don't do as much patrolling as my guys do.
Right.
So we can also take them vehicles and kind of rotate them to the reserve side to stop the mileage, get newer ones, so we can keep switching from the full-time guys to the reserves, and then we could be able to start getting into a rotation, but this starting out is, because right now I've got 3 vehicles down, and we're just hired 2 guys, so now we're gonna be short some cars, and I'm just trying to find anything, because we normally would buy 2 cars a year, or 2 cars every other year, when we was doing the USDA grant.
It's every 2 years. We've been doing it.
And now the USDA grant's no longer there, so now I'm SLL, and
So you threw in that 2022 Dodge Durango that has 35,000 miles on it. Why would that be?
that gives us the most equity, and that brings our payments down. So,
That's why we took the 2019 Ford F-150 XL that we're using in code enforcement. It's only got 22,000 miles on it. Its equity value was 15.5. So we're gonna take the other Dodge pickup that we currently have in the police department and move it down to the code enforcement vehicle. So we can do something with equity to trade in, get a car, and then down the road, we could use that Dodge also as a backup for a bill, because we don't have to worry about, just take decals off, but it still gives us a backup, but it's only being driven, what do we figure, 3,000 miles a year, if that?
Reading meters.
Yeah.
Or if my truck goes to the shop, I drive it.
So, and then down the road, we could say, okay, now we want to trade that in and buy something else with it. But we're trying to figure out what we have. We have such an aged fleet with high miles, we have no equity. When those Chargers are worth $3,000, you know.
Did you look at your truck, Billy, with 4-door cab? Did you look at what the value was of your truck being at a 4-door cab is in
He gave us-
2019?
he did
Would
give
that
us-
increase the value if you were to get rid of it and maybe take a lower car one of the older cars?
When he went through this, he picked and chose what would be the most beneficial for his department as far as patrolling versus. Bill's not putting a lot of miles on his, so there's no reason to take it out of the rotation, because it's still gonna hold value for a couple more years. But the ones that are getting used a lot, you know, they're gonna lose value quicker than what his is. And I didn't really understand his reasoning behind the F-150 XL until he explained it, and it made a hell of a lot of sense.
So at 28,820, would that change? Clinton, 1 year outlay?
That was the way I understand it, but there is an unknown here. Five vehicles delivered here, and our first month of driving them around, and then we would be looking at 41, 45 a month thereafter. But that year one outlay, I'm gonna have to call him and ask him.
Showing is only 4.
That's my fault, I didn't change that number.
Okay, because I was like, ooh, we're asking for 5.
Yeah, that's my fault. I changed it and added the card number 7.
Right.
I used the numbers. He confirmed my numbers were right and then added on the little notes at the bottom of the thing.
So that's the price for 5 now.
Yes.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
okay, so, let's see what the other one comes in at when I think.
Yeah, I mean,
If
we're
anybody
starting.
else has got any more questions.
Yeah,
I
we're
think-
starting to look at options on what can we do. I mean, if we would have had a better rotation on vehicles, that we would have had, we wouldn't have been in this problem. But we've got another leasing company where they want to run us by the same thing.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know if
And-
we can do anything.
But
man,
if we've only got X amount of dollars a year and we can spend it and get those cars now, it's City of Carmel, where else was it, was completely leasing now, all their police cars.
Or South World.
Yeah, they just don't even buy them, they just lease them. Lease them, change them, lease them, change them. So, yeah. A lot of data.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, as Mr. Brocaroni has pointed out several times, the way they're gonna be changing these property taxes, we're gonna have to start getting some money somewhere, and the best place to get it would be from some of the cases to the ordinance book, because there are some fees that we currently aren't charging. There's some fees that are way too low for what they're proposing to do. And then there are some things that really, in my opinion, and I'm not a lawyer, but they need to be moved from one thing to another so they all coagulate with the department they're supposed to. And one of those ordinances that we really need to consider modifying is the building code, and we really need to hire a building inspector before we start this project at Glen Ridge, because of an issue we're experiencing right now. Now, according to our legal counsel, if we want to have a building inspector, we really need a building ordinance or a building code to adopt. We do have the Code of Construction Standards, but all it covers is streets, water, and sewer hookups, and that's it. It doesn't cover anything as far as what the Unified Development Ordinance talked about, in setbacks, right-of-ways, and all that kind of stuff. And we know that Glen Ridge is kind of a weird situation because they are gonna have to leave room for the utilities. The guy that is wanting to develop it has a proposal the other night for what, 16 houses, was it, Patty? 14 houses, and they're all gonna be nice-sized homes. And make sure that 5 years down the road, somebody doesn't start throwing a fit because the quality was poor. Well, he put it in the wrong place because I'm only 3 foot away from that border according to the ordinance, I'm supposed to be 5. So I would like to get a committee with a couple of volunteers to start looking those over and making some changes that we can, hopefully by the end of the year.
I'd be willing to sit on a building code committee.
Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is the clerk treasurer and I have been talking, and I need 2 volunteers from the council that would be willing to come in the daytime and meet with clerk treasurer, the department heads, and making things, some of his accounting stuff, so there's these fund balances when we get them. he's not staying here till midnight every night trying to get them right. Some of them I like, they make sense because they do cut to the chase and make it a hell of a lot easier. And then there's a couple things that I don't have three, that's a quorum. I need two council people to come in and the department heads will meet and we will see what we can come up with to make that all work.
Is it during the day? Did
It
you
would
say?
have to be during the day. 'Cause
I'll do it.
Okay, so I got Dean for that.
More than one day? Or is it can be several days?
No, it would probably, at most it would be 2 times and then we'd just report to council what you come up with.
I could work something.
Okay, so you and Dean for finance?
Sure.
And if something comes up and she can't, I can be an alternate, because I'm retired, so I can
Well,
slip in.
I figure, if we can't do it in 2, then we all need to be fired and they need to elect a bunch of new people.
But if you need a backup, I offer.
Okay.
Who are the two for building code? I only got Dot.
I'm an
Well,
alternate.
We didn't get a second one for the building code yet. Email too, because I know how to scan on that computer and printer now, so I can actually scan what Scott has sent me and then we can start dissecting it. So I could probably just scan it to everybody and everybody can look at it and we'll go from there.
Well, one thing, John, the library with American Legal would be a help there, of seeing what cities comparable our size do for a building inspector and some of the building codes. Give us an idea. You go through that ordinance book and some go back to the 50s or 60s or so, and you definitely need to be updated.
Some of them, just like, we've got a $500,000 truck that we're using, that the current rate.
3 years based on inflation. Whatever the inflation rate, fees should go up accordingly to that. We've never, it happens to everything. Organizations and all with dues and all should go.
We have on cemeteries, because Cindy's always
Oh, yeah,
done that
$50 a
yearly,
year.
and she
Across
looks
the
at
board.
that every, November, December, and she has an ordinance ready for us, at 1st of January.
That guy that said that we charge people to die.
Yeah.
Takes the whip.
I had on the agenda, and I had written some other stuff down, I'm not gonna go get it.
So when this building inspector, okay, so the county doesn't have a building inspector.
Yes, they do. He's retiring December 31st. He is a retired surveyor, he actually lives here in town.
South 7th Street, nice guy.
Okay, so, because I know on the zoning, we give them building permits for going out, but I just didn't know if there was somebody even going out to these sites
Well,
for
I'd
the
say,
county.
that's the thing, there's a situation that has happened that we're working on. But long story short, now that we have adopted the county's UDO, somebody needs to clarify and the APC on the county side is our planning, but we have our own zoning board. But the zoning board we have, if you read the ordinance, it says the zoning board's in charge of the building inspector, and the building inspector shall work for free. And nobody in their right mind is gonna put their name on a dotted line where they're gonna be responsible. And they're gonna have to know the ordinance, they're gonna have to know the lot size versus what you're allowed to build, they're gonna have to concern, because we don't want a bunch of lean-tos, we want good-looking homes. This guy that's planning on building, what he's proposed, they're nice-looking homes, they get decent square footage, and, I just wanna make sure that 10 years from now, they aren't falling in the city. But see, since Jack passed away, he quit. Didn't tell anybody. We've sold a couple, 3 building permits, but nothing for a house, well, nothing technically for a house yet.
Right.
But it's not that hard, a roofing permit, they're just replacing the roof, then there's a fee for that, that's way too cheap. And then fence permit, it's not even in the book, but we are starting.
We're hoping to raise the building permits high enough to offset for the building inspector.
Yeah, so when you say
Yeah.
building permits, you're talking about all.
All building permits, yeah.
Yeah.
So that way, if he has to go out on something, there's money in the fund to pay him to go out and look at a house. And mostly, like the county is a foundation inspection, a rough-in plumbing, and a rough-in electrical. And that would be, everybody hates an inspector, but an inspector is there to protect the neighbors, not to have something junk thrown in there.
Yeah, and I was just kind of curious,
Yeah.
because I thought, I'm on the same thought process, I think the mayor is. We adopted, why not? Busy.
It's a part-time job, is
Yeah.
it not?
And why
Per occurrence.
don't we go together as a county? We
Well,
share the
Kenny
cost of the building inspector, but they report to,
Penny Carpenter and I have talked about that, and we, of course, she's got one until December 31st. We don't have one. And I've talked to two people that they're both qualified, they're both licensed, and both of them have indicated that a fee per basis would be fine with them. They don't want a full-time job. One of them is planning on retiring from his regular job in March, which means he has
plus,
that.
yeah, that's a very positive.
And if the county wanted to tailgate on us with that, you know, and pay their fair share, well, it would probably be a win-win, because then everybody's playing by the same rules.
That's where I was going for, is this UDO was all about, I
So,
don't care where you live in the county, the rules are the same.
okay, that being talked about, the next item on the agenda is public comment. Oh, we have a public.
Comments, yeah. How long has it been since there's been a real building inspector?
How long has it been?
Yeah.
When did Jack pass away?
Hey,
Right.
the building inspector, how
The
long?
building
since we had a
inspector,
building inspector?
Okay, when you're saying building inspector, how does he inspect? Does he go like 3-4 different times?
well,
Like when they get done with the electric, did he go check the electric?
okay.
When
can
he
I
got done
answer-
with the plumbing, did
Can
they?
I answer the question, please?
Yeah.
Okay, under the old, the way that it was, they would apply for a permit, he would go out and look at the lot, look at the plans of their house. If it would fit on the lot, not infringe on anybody, then they got a permit, and that was probably the last time.
That's a building inspector under these rules.
No, that was under those rules. I want to change the rules.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, that's, Terre Haute, they have to check it out
I know,
4 or 5 times.
well, it's a minimum of 3.
You have to go to school to be a building inspector, and
It's a minimum of at least 3, because.
you gotta have the electricity. Once they run the electricity, you can't even cover the walls or the electricity or anything. You have to have it all checked. And it has to be tagged before you can do any more on your house. Then you have to do the plumbing. An inspector has to come in and check the plumbing. That all has to be done. That's what it's called.
You go to the bigger cities, you go to Florida.
This is Terre Haute. Terre Haute's not real
You
big.
go to Florida, you build a home in Florida, you got at least 10 inspectors, and I know for sure, because I had somebody that actually built homes.
We didn't even build. We
and-
redone.
Oh, I gotta pay, make sure I got an electrician, I gotta make sure I got a certified plumber, somebody that specializes in concrete, and it just roofing, they're all different types. Well, then the city have to have those people on contract and pay for those people. That's what's wrong, that's why it's so hard in a rural area like we are in. You just can't pull what you see going on in bigger cities. You financially couldn't do it. So you just, hopefully you have somebody that has the ability to follow the UDO, because the UDO was voted upon the people of Vermillion County. This is what we expect out of a building inspector, what he needs to do. That's what the people voted for, so, and I get why they voted for that.
Okay, did you know an air conditioner's not supposed to be 3 foot on the away from someone's property line?
I'm not a building inspector.
Me neither, but you can find that on internet inspection. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but if the ordinance that's written.
Now, since I found out where my property line is, I've got an air conditioner that's not even a foot off my property line.
And then they have rules for zoning for that. That's where you go to the zoning.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even with these new houses going up, are they gonna know that?
Well, the builder's gonna know it.
The building what?
The builder will know it.
What's your name, ma'am? We didn't get your name.
Kim Benatti.
Okay.
And you guys talk about, not having enough money for the town. You guys don't follow your ordinances. I fought and fought and fought with Jack and everybody. I've got boarders that live across from me. Nothing's ever done. I've been there for 20 years. You guys could have made a fortune off them. I mean, Cindy knows. She don't want to talk about it.
It's not my department.
Huh?
It's not my department.
No, it was your daughter's.
Okay, that's enough. We're not starting arguments.
No, it's not.
And,
It's nobody's department but the Board of Public Works and Safety.
it was
And
code
it's-
enforcers.
And then it goes
Code
down
enforcers.
to, it goes to the ordinance, ma'am. If you don't have the ordinance, I don't care who
Oh, I
thinks
had
it.
ordinances. I had pictures, I had ordinances, I brought it and brought it.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds like a past problem.
It's still there.
Well,
We'll get it fixed.
it'll get fixed. According to the law.
Go by my house, please, and look at that house.
I've been by your house.
Ask him. Have you
I've
seen-
been
have-
by your
Have you
house.
seen the hoarder house?
I've seen your house, I've seen that neighborhood, I've been by there 3 times. Anybody else got any comments?
I do, Mayor.
I asked Steve.
I've been looking at the ordinance book under 30.057, where it has in there that the clerk treasurer is to give the reports to the council, the financial reports, and we've been getting those. The problem is, and he's doing what the ordinance says in doing that, but the department heads are in need of those reports also. So I'm asking the council to consider having an ordinance drawn up to amend section 30.057, which would put the verbiage in there to allow the clerk treasurer to give those reports each month to the department heads. And if it's approved, I'll be happy to get with the attorneys to draw up the ordinance. That right now it just says the department heads, I mean the council.
Yeah, you're correct, Dean. I agree with you, but then also they would have got those if they followed the other ordinance where the department heads meet with the clerk treasurer and they receive their financial reports and go over it. So the ordinance really does say that. And you're right. So we gotta decide, are we ever gonna do these monthly meetings with the clerk treasurer and department heads and the mayor? Or if we're not? I know the mayor has to do that. That's by Indiana code, but if we have one for city code.
I thought the superintendents of the departments have to sign off the vouchers and.
But they meet together. If you read the
Are you
ordinance-
saying collectively all departments
They
versus
meet every
individually?
Friday, yeah, every Friday, they meet together as a whole and go over the financial reports. They receive the financial reports, they discuss the financial reports, and then we get our copy. So a lot of them been doing it on Thursday. That used to do it in the past. We're doing it on Thursday, so the council would have the record. So the department heads go through it with the clerk treasurer. And then the clerk treasurer goes back, agrees, they get this all fixed, then we have our correct financial reports into it. So what Dean's saying is they should be looking at the financial reports That's how they sign off on the vouchers.
So they meet individually with the clerk treasurer and then collectively all
Together.
department. Okay, so
The
those two,
ordinance says together.
maybe.
According to the ordinance book, the Friday before a meeting,
Right.
all the department heads are supposed to meet with the clerk treasurer, and they go through the vouchers. They either sign off on them, or they don't sign off on them. But anyway, that's in the ordinance book, that's the way it's
I
written.
remember reading that in the
And
ordinance.
it hasn't been done that way for quite some time.
Well,
You were
the other
right.
side of that is, and no offense, but if the clerk treasurer's not available, then
And I
that's an
understand
all
that
avoid,
too.
so,
But then
but this here would put it there that
there's another side of that coin that we've got to keep remembering and keep considering. And I know we get frustrated and impatient, especially around budget time, but he walked into a mess
Mhm.
and he started out with little or no cooperation. And so, you know, I'm doing my best to give him.
I'm not throwing darts at him, as
Well,
I said.
and I know
He's
that.
doing what he's doing what the ordinance currently says.
I'm just saying, there's some changes that need to be made in that book, but there's also ordinances that we really need to start following, because they're there, and we better start paying attention to them. So, but.
Can you
I,
give the reports, the finance reports to departments? You're only talking to 1, 2, 3, 4. The same thing we're getting, make sure they at least get those, and then we can move on, like the mayor said. And then they're getting them, and then we can look at, we gotta get through budget time, but at least you're getting the reports to them.
Yeah, I have no problem with all this, but look at the ordinance, because the ordinance is incorrect as far as meeting with me. And the fact that it wants me to meet with them at the end of the day on Friday, and then the other ordinance says to have your reports to you by noon on Friday. Therefore, I have to print out wrong reports before these guys get with me. That's why I meet with them anytime they can stop by my office. I mean, I have folders in there for everybody, they're different colors. But yeah, I need to know, the one thing I need to know is, and I think I've done this since the beginning, remember the color chart I sent out? Who are the supervisors? Who is, I think it needs to be nailed down, who is responsible for the money in each fund? I think that's really important.
Just the funds of fire, golf, police, and then you have Cindy, which has parks, cemeteries, streets, and water. So that's why I said there was really 4. You had golf, that's 5. Because, well, you got sewer.
I think there's a lot more.
4, and then add the 5.
I think let me ask the question again, and John, you're new to this, but this was going on long before you got here. So that color chart that I put out was who is in charge of a fund? Who signs a fund? And there's a lot more funds than, yeah. And I've kind of put names to it. I got Marissa for courts. That's obvious. I mean, I put the ones that were obvious. But I think who's ever spending money and who's responsible for spending that money is the names I think need to be on that chart. But I need a solid answer on that. And I've got, what, a dozen folders? So I've got a dozen names on there.
And I can't remember, Bart, if it says department heads, then the mayor has his appointments to the department heads, and that's what I would go with, because that's what the ordinance said. That's just a recommendation, the ordinance says department heads. But if it says supervisors, then you're correct, we need to look at that roster, but I believe it says department heads, and don't quote me wrong, but I've said it over and over, I'm pretty sure it's department heads, and I'm not talking about saying it to you.
Yeah.
It's department heads. And so for now, we just do the department heads, make sure they get the financial reports. The mayor has a copy of his appointments to the department heads, and then we can go from there by, there is a lot of things you bring up, and Dean brings up that, I think, but I think what the mayor's saying is we gotta get through this, and we gotta enforce what we have. So we gotta look at what we're doing, simple enforcement, and then look at the changes.
And it's an easy fix, because you can always amend it if you find out it's not working. So it's not something.
Right now, unfortunately, the ordinance says to meet with them after I'm supposed to have your reports printed. That's the problem with the ordinance right now. So
Right.
there's definitely an issue there. Because I need to meet with them to approve it before I print your reports.
Correct.
Department heads will be suffice, get them a report, putting it, their box in there and go from
Somebody
there.
stole Scott, so.
Are we ready to move for another topic? Because I know people want to get out of here, so.
Well, go ahead.
I have recommended people to look at the videotapes of our meetings, and I tell them that they can get it by going online, and then they call me back and they say, it's not there, and I said, no, I know, it's been videotaped, it's there.
This is a little out of turn. Can I speak to this for a second?
Sure.
Because I've encountered this, I use the videos sometimes when I can't be here. When a meeting is happening live, it's there, and you can watch it live. The archived versions of the videos don't automatically show up on the YouTube channel. And I've encountered that for months and months, and I would come in and I would say, hey, the last meeting isn't on the YouTube channel. And Jack or whoever would call the IT guy and tell him about it. And there was some change that he had to make, something he had to do with that recording that would make it show up. But for some reason, he's having to do it every time. And unless somebody tells him to do it, they don't show up there.
Well,
It should be possible to change that, but it doesn't happen.
Here's the dilemma, because the comeback is, well, I can watch the county months after the meeting has occurred. How come the city cannot do that? So here's my question. Is it possible to have the videotape be on there at least as long as a county meeting is, or is it be on there 90 days or 30? I mean, is there a way to have it on there? And then I think when you mentioned it to the folks the other night about starting with the July 1st, if you could repeat that things, if it's held in an official
It's not a
government.
government building, it's gotta be live streamed.
Right.
But here's the unknown of the question, or one of the unknowns. I have no clue who our YouTube or internet provider is. I do know who our IT people are because I hired them. But I don't know who runs that thing.
Hey, John,
Cluster.
I can get with Zach Ryder, and talk to him, because like I said, Jason is the one that created all of this. Can't be that hard.
Well, say your Jesse in the water department is able to get to the internet thing because she's put stuff on there, and Leonard found his way there, and Leonard can find his way.
They're two totally different things, so.
Well, once they're on the YouTube channel, they're there forever.
No,
Yeah.
no,
It's
that's
just
not
getting
true. The switch on YouTube Studio switched to private after airing, which means as soon as this meeting's over and it's stopped, it takes it down.
I'm looking at the city's YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
This meeting is on there right now. There's 6 people watching if anybody wants to know. Because it's live.
But when it archives,
But
it
as
stays
soon
on
as
there
this
forever.
meeting
Only
ends-
90
The
days?
the YouTube setting is to
It
make
should
go
stay
private.
on there, and the
Yeah.
intention is that they should stay on there. But as soon as this meeting ends, as soon as he flips that switch, this will disappear.
No, switch is not connected.
But this will not be there, and you won't be able to watch it after it's live. The last one that is on there, as far as still being there for people to watch, is December of 2024. Nothing from this year is showing up archived to where you can watch it. Now, when we were encountering this, and I was trying to use these videos to cover the meetings when I couldn't be here, every time I ran into that situation, Jack would have to call Jason and tell him to fix it, and he would fix it, but then the next month would have the same situation again.
But if we
So
want
something in the YouTube
It's-
settings needs to be changed
Yeah, it's a setting in the template.
to fix it.
It's a setting in the template.
It's just a matter of who has access to it to do it.
So I'm making a request, can we get whoever is the appropriate person to have it stay up longer than live?
Well, then how long does it stay up if they fix it?
I mean,
As it's archived.
It can
Forever.
It can stay
That's what I thought, it
indefinitely.
just stays
I've
archived
got them
forever.
on here back to 8 of 23, which was about the time we started doing it, I think. The county has them on there going back to when Tolbert was there when they started doing it.
But my point is, our curiosity is beginning to pick up, and it would be a nice service, user-friendly, because not everybody can watch it on the night that it's live.
Well, we will call Patty or I, or both of us will call Andre tomorrow and have him fix it. I didn't know there was anything wrong with it.
He just needs access to the YouTube channel to be able to log in and make changes to it.
Well, and see, that's a $900 question too, but I'm sure he'll have a way to find that. Okay.
But it's something that we should
Huh?
do.
Patty, just give you a thumbs up, you're good.
Well, she's gonna hitchhike on the way home. Anybody got anything else? I would accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.
Here's my November and December project. This is a $9 million lumber yard that I have open by December. So that's for all